Hey guys, I've gotten a lot of questions about HPA tanks and regulators. Which one is cheaper? What does LPR mean? What does SLP mean? And what tanks are compatible with what? So I'm going to go ahead and make a video on all of them. Obviously, Amped does HPA everything, so they have tons of videos out on this type of stuff. But if you're just like watching my YouTube videos, here's one about HPA regulators and tanks. So I have a Gorilla, Ninja, Empire, Titman, another First Strike, it's Gorilla, and then a Valken. The regulator that I use is a Ninja LPR, and then here is a SLP by, I think this might be the Amped one. It might have been a Valken one, but they're pretty much the same. So I'll go over the regulators later. So with the tanks, you have a 13 cubic inch tank. Those are super thin. Those are good for like HPA pistols or indoor use if the field fills your air up. If they do free air fills, use that 13 cubic inch tank. That would last me a game. A tiny one, with the way I shoot, it would definitely not last me over a game. So that's that. I don't have one of those, but they're tiny. Got 48s, 48 cubic inch, 62 cubic inch, and then you'll have like 64 and 90 cubic inch, and I think even 72 cubic inch, all carbon fibers. Carbon fiber is a lot lighter, but way more expensive. I prefer just to get, I have 5 of these tanks, and this, as much as I've spent on all of these, I could have probably had 1 carbon fiber Ninja tank. So much more economical to get these tanks, but overall, you know, you get more quality when it comes to a carbon fiber, but not as much air, considering I got all of these for about the same price now. I didn't pay all retail for all these though, so I'll get into that later. So we'll just start off here with the Gorilla. This is about a 3-year-old tank. I bought it for, I think I bought it for $30 roughly, from a friend that actually I got his Valken V12 from, that came from the same gun. And it's, like I said, about 3 years old. I do have an air pass that's almost out, and I've had an issue with this tank, 2 issues. It started leaking from the 1.8 valve. The burst just didn't break, it was just leaking from the threads. So I had to Teflon tape it up, and then the gauge got totally bent. Hope you can see that. So I've just had to remember where's full and where's not full. I am selling this to a friend for $20, so I won't have it for much longer, but it'll probably stay around because I'll probably take his tank and fill it for him, so he'll just have to get a new air pass. I'd spend the $20 for an air pass. And then we have a Ninja. This is a 48 cubic inch, a fantastic tank. This has been rehydroed, so at 2020 it needs rehydroed again. So this tank was probably made in 2010 is what I think it was. And I've had no issues with it. I've only had it for about a year and a half, but no issues with it. I'm trying to read to see. There's a rehydro stamp here, and it says 15, so I think that's for, considering I'm still getting this filled, it's 2017. That is the rehydro date, not in 2020 is when I need to rehydro. It's 5 years from the rehydro date, so 2020. With an Empire, love it. Basically the same regulator as the Ninja. It's, you know, nice, no issues, no tilting in the gauge, no looseness, no leaking. And it's nice and marked here. It needs to be filled or rehydroed in 2020. So it's just as old as this. Just kidding, this is twice as old, because this one was rehydroed when this one was made. Same thing with this one. This one was 2015. Needs rehydroed in 2020. Now, obviously, the months are different, but it's a 48 cubic inch. The regulator on this one might not be as good. It's kind of tilted a little bit, and it doesn't look like it's gone up to the 2500. But literally, they filled this one just as much as they filled this one. So this is actually filled up to the full 48, 3,000 cubic inch, or 3,000 cubic inch, 3,000 psi, 48 cubic inch. They fill all these the same amount, but the dial doesn't go all the way to 3,000 on this one. It's not a big deal, just kind of cosmetic, I guess. Got a Gorilla First Strike tank, 62 cubic inch. This is better for outdoors, so I put this in my bag and forget about it. Honestly, it's a bigger tank, so I just toss it in my bag and use it. It only lasts me like a game more than these, so these will probably last me 2 to 3 games, maybe 4. I'd say 2 to 3, and then this one will last me 4. So, pretty cool. It depends on how much I'm on the trigger, if I'm using full auto or semi, outdoor or indoor, if the field is busy or not, if there's a lot of targets, I'll shoot more. It just totally depends, but roughly it's 3 to 4 games per this, and probably 4 games for this. It's a heavier tank, of course, 62 cubic inch. The date on this is 2016, okay, so it was, so it's going to be rehydro in 2021, I believe, right? Yeah, 2021, so just a year newer, basically. It's a nice tank, but basically when I got it was broken. I bought it from Assault Airsoft. I got a good deal on it though. So I took it home. I got it filled. I bought an air pass for it. And the night that I brought it home, it spewed all its air. The 5K burst disc blew, which is kind of weird because the 1.8 disc is supposed to blow first. So I ended up calling. I had to call because they wouldn't answer my emails. I had to call First Strike. And they said they would send me out a 5K burst disc and the repair kit. And when I got it, it was the 1.8 burst disc, not the 5K. So I put it in there, went and filled it, and it blew at 1.5. Big surprise. I probably shouldn't have put it in there. I just tested it anyways. It blew. So then I emailed them and was like, yeah, you sent me the wrong one. And so they ended up saying that, oh, it was out of stock, it was on back order. I don't know why they didn't just tell me that instead of bullcrapping me and sending me something that I didn't need. I literally threw it away because it was a waste. The repair kit, there was nothing in it that, it was the 1.5K burst disc, which blew, and then like the replacement valve in here, which this one is fine, so I just literally threw it away, it's a waste. But they ended up actually sending me a 5K burst disc, actually really quickly, honestly. So I kind of got over that. It's no big deal. I did fill it up. This is the second time filling it up, and it has not burst. So I think it was just a lemon on the burst disc. But overall, I do not like the Gorilla regulator. Same thing with this one. Both the same regulators. They're not good. The design is not good. So, don't like them. But, overall, I got a really good price on that. So, then we have a SLP tank. It's marked with green, so you'll know it's SLP. Also, the way you'll know it's SLP is if you push down on the valve, you can spray air out of it. With the non-SLP, the high pressure, there's no way you're going to do that. You're going to break your nail before you push that down. So that's also a way you can tell that this is SLP. So this is a 62 cubic inch, just like this. It's a Vulcan tank. Vulcan air is good. The date on this should be 2016. And I don't know where the date is on this thing. I don't see it. Maybe it's marked. I don't see it. I don't know where it's marked, but it should be 2016 because this was a brand new tank. It says 8/15, so apparently it's probably sitting in Evite for maybe a year, considering Devin got that like 3 or 4 months ago. So that's that. Like the Vulcan tanks, honestly, they're nice. Now Devin has 2 of these now, so 2 68 cubic inch tanks should last you all day, no matter where you're playing. If you're playing indoor or outdoor, 62 cubic inch tanks should last you. It would last me. In fact, 2 48s last me for indoor. Outdoor, I might go through 2.5. So, just depends on how much I'm shooting, really. So, regulators, this is the one that I use. It is an LPR. It's not marked LPR. This thing's so freaking old. It's like 6 years old. I've not had any issues with it until it started. The refresh rate was kind of low. It was weak. It wasn't refreshing very well. So I took it apart and cleaned it and haven't had an issue since. You adjust the PSI via there, and this is the off and on. I like the design of this. Fantastic. And And then with the non-SLP, you get kind of a adjustment on the top here, and then the off and on. I don't really care for this as much. I don't like the coiled line either. This one's actually broken, as you see. But yeah, I mean, they work the same. It's off and on, and then you adjust it. This is just built for lower PSI, basically. The output on this thing is a lot less, honestly. So 275 PSI is the output, and then you narrow it down to 100 or something or whatever. The PSI on these, I'm not sure what the output is. It might be 5,000 PSI. I don't know. 4.5, I don't know. There's a bunch of numbers. There's a 4.5K, and then there's a 1.8K. I don't know what the output is on these regulators, but it's much higher. So don't make the mistake using an SLP regulator with a non-SLP tank. It'll break it. These retail for about $85. These retail for about $150 to like $180. They're expensive. They are. Now I bought this. I actually spent $75 plus an upper receiver for my brother. So I spent about $110 on the whole setup here. Just ask him. The hose was included. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. It's pretty much the full setup. I'm not going to shoot anything or anything. There's nothing to show. Adjustment is with a screw on this one for the PSI, and then on this it's a crank. So technically this is going to be easier to adjust, but this can be bumped. You have to kind of pop it up, but still, if you don't pop it down, you could accidentally adjust it. So that's just, something to be aware of. I like the non-SLPs better. Some people say the SLPs have better refresh rate or better efficiency. I don't know if that's true or not, honestly, but this one is more compatible because you can use any tank. So if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. And it totally depends on your setup and what you plan, what your budget is on what regulator you should use. For Devin, the SLP was the go-to. But for Brandon, it's probably going to be, well, for Mini, I'll call him that, the non-SLP LPR is probably going to be best for him because he's buying my non-SLP tank. So that'll be better for him, so he can use any tanks. And if he runs out and I have a filled tank, he can use mine. So that'll be better for him. And then the other Brandon, I think he's going to buy an SLP regulator. I don't know, I don't remember what he was going to buy. So if you have any questions, let me know. By the way, there should be 2 jack builds coming on this channel soon, because both Brandon's, one I'll call him Mini, he's getting a jack set up, and so is Brandon. Both of their names are Brandon. I'm going to call the one Mini. Hope that makes sense. So they're both getting jack setups. So I'll have some more HPA guns to do videos on. So pretty cool. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you so much for watching.